the funeral home that never let anyone leave. There's something people should know before I tell this story. This isn't about Hmong funerals. Real Hmong funerals are beautiful ceremonies that honor loved ones, family, and tradition. This story is about a place that hid behind those traditions. A place that shouldn't have existed. A place that wasn't on any map. And if what happened to me was real, then it's probably still waiting. I never believed in ghosts. Not really. Sure, I loved horror movies, haunted houses, urban legends, stories people posted online about things they couldn't explain. But once the lights came back on, I always found a logical answer. Until October 18th. That was the night I accepted a filming job that paid more money than I'd ever earned in a single evening. $5,000, cash, no contract, no questions. The text message simply read, "Need a videographer for a Hmong funeral tonight. 1 camera, come alone, payment upon arrival." There wasn't even a name attached. Half the money had already been transferred into my account before I replied. That should have been the first warning. Instead, I packed my cameras. The drive north from the Twin Cities took almost 2 hours. At first, everything felt normal. Gas stations, traffic, streetlights. But somewhere after the last small town, everything changed. The road narrowed, the trees grew thicker, the radio lost signal. Even my phone stopped showing service. Rain began falling, not hard enough to make driving difficult, but steady enough to erase the world beyond my headlights. The GPS voice suddenly went silent. The map froze, then every road disappeared. Only 3 words remained on the screen. "You have arrived." I looked up. There was no funeral home, just woods. I almost laughed. Then lightning flashed. For less than a second, the building appeared. It hadn't been there before. I'm sure of it. 3 stories tall. Old brick walls stained almost black from age. Tall windows reflecting nothing but darkness. A faded wooden sign hung above the entrance. Only 1 word remained. Funeral. The rest of the letters had rotted away years ago. I sat there for nearly a minute. Something about the place felt wrong, not haunted. Not abandoned, just like it didn't belong. I finally grabbed my equipment and stepped into the rain. The parking lot was full, nearly 40 vehicles, old pickup trucks, sedans, minivans, every one of them covered in dust. Some had leaves trapped beneath the windshield wipers. Others had spider webs stretched between their mirrors. They looked like they hadn't moved in decades, but as I walked past the nearest truck, I heard it. Tick, tick, tick. The soft metallic sound of a warm engine cooling. I touched the hood. Warm. The next truck. Warm. The next. Warm. Every vehicle felt as though it had arrived only minutes earlier. I should have left. Instead, I walked toward the entrance. The front door slowly opened by itself. No one stood there. The smell hit me first. Incense, fresh flowers, cooked food. It reminded me of every funeral I'd ever attended. Comforting, respectful. Then another smell drifted beneath it. Something damp. Like wet earth, like an old basement, like freshly dug soil. I couldn't tell where it was coming from. Rows of shoes lined both sides of the entrance. Hundreds of pairs. Children's shoes, work boots, women's heels, tiny sandals, military boots, every pair arranged perfectly. I slipped off my own shoes and stepped inside. The door closed behind me without making a sound. The hallway stretched farther than seemed possible. Soft yellow lights glowed overhead. Family photographs covered every wall. Generations of smiling faces. As I passed the first picture, lightning flashed outside for the briefest instant. Every person in the photograph turned and looked directly at me. I stopped walking. The light steadied. The photograph was normal again. I laughed under my breath. Nerves. That's all it was. Just nerves. Or at least, that's what I kept telling myself. Then I heard the first note. A keege, low, haunting, beautiful. Its sound drifted through the building like fog. I followed it until I reached the chapel. Nearly 200 mourners sat inside. Everyone wore traditional funeral clothing. Families sat together. Children rested quietly beside their parents. Incense curled upward in slow spirals. The atmosphere felt peaceful. Yet something immediately caught my attention. No one was talking, not whispering, not crying, nothing. 200 people, completely silent. A middle-aged woman approached me with a gentle smile. "You must be the cameraman." I nodded. "Thank you for coming." She handed me an envelope. Inside was the rest of the payment, $5,000 in cash. I looked up. I usually meet with the family before I start filming. She smiled again. "You already have." Before I could ask what she meant, she quietly walked away. I set up my tripod near the back of the room. The keege player stood beside the casket. His face remained hidden beneath the brim of a dark hat. He slowly raised the instrument. The room seemed to hold its breath. Then the music began. Every hair on my arm stood up. Not because it sounded frightening, because it sounded impossible. The melody echoed from every direction at once. It didn't matter where I stood. The sound was always directly behind me. I lifted my camera, pressed record. The LCD screen flickered. The picture cleared. Everything looked normal. I slowly zoomed toward the family, still normal. Toward the flowers, normal. Toward the keege player. The screen glitched, just for one frame. His face was gone. Not hidden, gone. Only darkness existed beneath his hat. I lowered the camera. He looked completely normal again. I raised it. Darkness, lowered it. Normal, raised it. Darkness. My stomach tightened. I checked the playback. Nothing unusual. The recording showed his face clearly. I whispered to myself, "Camera malfunction." That explanation lasted exactly 10 seconds, because every person in the chapel slowly turned their head toward me. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just together, perfectly synchronized. 200 pairs of eyes locked onto mine, not angry, not curious, expectant. as if they had all been waiting for me to notice them. And then, every single person smiled, exactly the same smile, wide, still, unnatural. The Keege music stopped. The silence that followed felt heavier than the sound ever had. Then, from inside the closed casket, something knocked. Knock. Once. No one reacted. Knock. Again. The mourners kept smiling. The Keege player slowly turned his head toward me. For the first time, I saw his eyes. They were filled with tears. Without moving his lips, he mouthed 3 words. "Don't film this. To be continued seamlessly."